Hello, Zelda Universe. Welcome back to another brand new interview. My name is Trainer Trevino, and I'm here with a special guest today. Hello. Who are you?
Hi, everybody. I'm Erik Braa. In Zelda world, I am the voice of Master Kohga.
And how does it feel to be one of the voice actors in an official Zelda game?
Pretty awesome, actually. I mean, you know, you're like any actor will tell you, like, you're just happy to have any gigs. But when you get a part that people are excited about and you hear people say like, oh my God, you did, so yeah, it's awesome. It's super awesome. And I'm very happy to be a part of it.
That's great. That's great. Have you got the chance to like play the game for yourself yet?
I have not. I don't actually own a Switch.
Oh no. Oh my goodness.
So I'm hoping that Santa will bring me one. So we'll see.
Oh, that'd be great. All right, well, we'll just go ahead and jump into all the questions that all the Zelda fans have been wanting to ask you, since this is a pretty raw new thing for Zelda. Like,
yeah, I mean, it didn't come out till November, and it's well before, like, it's a prequel to Breath of the Wild. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, like 100 years before Breath of the Wild. Like, this is like in the past,
right?
And there's so much going on. And yeah, so I'll go ahead and just jump into the first question here. Let's see. This is from Sean Chiplock, who also voices Rivali in the game.
Oh,
He's
wow.
asking, yeah. So he's asking, did having the character's face always behind a mask give you a lot of freedom in how you wanted to perform the line, or did the client director already have specific annotations in mind when recording?
I'm going to say a little bit of both, a little column A, a little column B. Obviously, having a mask on makes it much easier if there's some sort of lip flap kind of situation, because there was some Japanese done, obviously. Mm-hmm. So that obviously makes it a little easier, and it makes it more comfortable to be able to do your performance, for sure. Mm-hmm. He does, though, have mannerisms and things that he does that you had to figure out how to match when he's going, hey, why did you tell us? Like when he's yelling about getting, whether we were going to get clobbered, why didn't you tell us? That there was specific movements that he was doing. So I was trying to obviously match to that. But yes, no doubt, it's much easier not having lip flap and things like that to match to. So it made it a lot easier for me, I'm sure. And to be honest with you, the team, I'm sure he would have said as well that the team was just fantastic. I mean, mm-hmm. Chris was really great. I had a really good time.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that. I think this is a pretty good follow-up question. This is from Witwaker. They're asking, what do you think he looks like under the mask?
Wow, that's a good question. I have no idea. I got so used to see him with the mask on that I never even really thought about it. Like he has the, Mm-hmm. That's really funny. I'm sure he doesn't look a lot like me.
No.
But I'm sure he's much more attractive. So I don't know. I have no idea. We both have a little bit of a belly, so that maybe that's something we have in common, I guess.
Well, that is like one of his like key features of his design. Like everybody always mentions his giant belly in Breath of the Wild and Age of Calamity.
Yeah, he's a little more of the pear shape.
He packs a punch pretty well too.
He packs a punch, and snip, we'll end it all for you. So.
For sure. Okay, our next question comes from Plague Ruby. They're asking, how different was it to be voicing a character who was previously in Breath of the Wild but had no actual voice until Age of Calamity? Did he feel like a new character entirely?
I'm sure that any actor would tell you that, you go in there and you were hired because you auditioned for something and somebody says, we like what you're doing. So you go in and you feel good. You do what you do. I did, I obviously knew a little bit, and I knew that there wasn't a lot done for the voice. So it was interesting to be doing a sequel or a prequel, I guess, and then him actually having more to say than in Breath of the Wild. I don't know if the character will go on to next, future games, but if he does, I really hope I get the opportunity to continue on, because it is super fun, and he is just such a... What was funny was when I went into the session, I remember thinking that I had a little bit of a cartoony sort of sound, and I was like, like, is he need to be really? And then they quickly told me, they're like, no, he's actually kind of like comedy relief. And I went, okay. So that made it a lot easier. That made me feel comfortable because he can be silly. He can be not the brightest, which, I mean, you always want to, be, yes, that's me. I'm very smart. But no, the truth is it's fun to be the guy, the bad guy for one. And the other is it's fun to not be the smartest guy in the room. It's kind of fun. I just be like, what? Oh, I don't know anything about that. So it was very fun.
Yeah. I can definitely see he's a big cartoon character a lot of the time.
He is, and the funny thing is I had somebody comment to me that they said, I really like the way he goes from like laughable, almost idiot to, oh gosh, I actually fear for myself. Like I fear for my safety. Like he's actually mean. Like he can do stuff. So I was really happy about that. I think. In his little soliloquy building up, to the I'm going to kill you all to death. There's the whole. I don't mind, it's like he suddenly has this power that he's like, no, it's okay. You're not going to hurt me. But then when you do hurt him, he goes, oh God, stop. He just doesn't like it at all. So it really, I can't stop saying it. It was just such a fun thing to do. And again, a great team that honestly, I think we all laughed an awful lot doing him. So, I can't even remember what the question was now, but I hope I covered it.
I love the question in context was like, how does it feel to like voice a character that didn't have any voice to begin with?
I think we covered that. I mean, I don't know. I'm stoked. I'm super stoked. I'm super happy. I can't. There's not enough superlatives of how great I feel about the whole thing. It was a blast.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear. I guess like a good follow up overall is like which. Focus Fire is asking here is, could you explain how you found Master Kohga's voice?
Well, what's very funny about the process of doing auditions and things are you can be asked to do something very almost benign sounding and you just do it and you don't know sometimes what it even is. Mm-hmm. So in all honesty, I wasn't totally sure what I was even auditioning for. So I was doing a villain, and I got that he might have some silliness to him. So I did. I mean, I know in my original audition, I did a couple takes. I did one that was very mean. And then I did one that was like, oh, you'll find out, And so when we got into the session, that was when I was learning more about the character and who it was going to be. So I was like, oh, wow. And then we got to play. I mean, when they give you the line and they go, well, this is what they're getting across. Sometimes you hear the Japanese. And so you're like, wow, he sounds really angry. So you're like, okay, well, obviously there's some anger going on here. But then when you read the line, sometimes you're like, I don't know. So it's a fine balance of trying to find, when he should actually sound menacing and then when he should just be someone you kind of laugh at because you're not really in too much danger. But yeah, I can't, like I said, I can't stop saying it. I just loved it so much. It was so much fun. And the team was so good. Like I said, I went in thinking villain and not practicing, but you go, all right. The only lines I know I did were things like, I'll win you, so it was like you tried that a couple different ways, where you did like, I'll win you. Which is silly, and then you think it's like, I'll win you, you start, so then you layer on, well, then when you get in the session, everything goes right out the window pretty much because it's like, well, here's the line and we actually kind of want to have some fun here on this part of the line, but then, the second half do this, and so it made for a very dynamic kind of performance. And Again, I just keep saying it. I'm boring. Yeah. I'm a broken record. I'm so stoked to have been a part of this in any way.
It's pretty easy to tell. I'm glad to hear that. So I guess just like going down further about the role, Christiana's asking, Erik, what was your favorite line to voice as Master Kohga in Age of Calamity? My fave line is yours is kill you all to death.
That might be it. I have to say, although the what follows after that, the snip snip.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll fix you. I can't even remember the full line now. Everything was so. By the way, the NDAs, like not being able to talk about this for the months that it had been since I'd been recording. Oh, it's torture. And so, and they aren't exactly like, here's the script to like check out and read on your own. No. So like you kind of do the delivery and then they're like, okay, let's move on to the next line. You're like, wait, what did I say? So some of the, like, there was something about the snip and the balance of going from kill you all to death, and then having to move in and do the snip, that. But that was supposed to sound more ominous. Like the kill you all to death obviously was kind of silly because like, who says that, right? But then when you get to the snip and the that kind of stuff was great because you really brought more menace, and that was, I think. But yes, I think "Kill You All to Death" might have been my favorite line to deliver because it's so sort of ridiculous, but at the same time, slightly scary when somebody would say that to you, you know?
I think that entire scene itself was just like just a beautiful, perfect scene altogether. Like not just that line, the whole thing is just like, it starts off pretty like, you know, just pretty easy. Like, it's like he comes in just like, you know, very just like chill, and then he's like rah, 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 rah. It's just like he just like goes wild and crazy in his little,
and he gets kind of maniacal at one point. So like he has dynamics. Is one of the best lines to deliver. I kind of like the getting walloped one because you know, the crew that's on the line, the folks from, you know, the associated parties, whether it's the studio or the you know, Nintendo or something like that.
Yeah.
When you hear laughter on the line, you feel pretty good about stuff, you know, that they liked it. So, we had a couple that all of us were laughing and needed to take, you know, like 30 seconds to like gather ourselves because it was funny. We had a good time doing it.
That's good. That's good. Some are asking, I'll read this one from Handy Meshin. They're asking, was there anything you ad-libbed?
Maybe. I can say that most of it was pretty well handled by the script, although there were moments that there was either a difference from Japanese to English and whether or not they thought they could fit it in the amount of time. So we would sometimes sort of like ad-lib something and they would go, actually, yeah, that works probably better for, you know, like translation and timing. Timing is really the issue because it's like they can translate it pretty much, you know, figure it all out. But yeah, when you realize that the line might be this long and they only want it this long. So sometimes there's a little bit of ad lib and sometimes it's just in the performance, you know, things you do. Him getting up, the whoopsie daisy, you know, like, and then he has to jump right into his bit. So it was just really fun because I would throw the little things here and there. But again, a lot of it was, you know, covered by the team. They are phenomenal. So yeah, it was great.
That's good to hear. All right. So I got a pretty serious question here from multiple people. So I'm just gonna read them all back to back for you.
All right.
Do you like bananas? Do you personally like bananas? Do you like bananas? Why bananas? Opinions on bananas. Has voicing him given you a subliminal craving for bananas? Those are like from 6 different people.
I love it. What's funny was I laughed at that too when they said that like he actually bananas are a thing to him, like he really likes them, and I was like, okay. I don't know if there was any secret cravings, and I do enjoy bananas quite a bit though, especially banana ice cream. Yeah, banana ice cream with like chocolate and stuff. Oh my goodness. And then, oh, good Lord, I'm getting fatter by the minute. But I don't think it brought on any new urges for bananas, but I do enjoy bananas. So I guess I can. All right, yeah.
we're in character.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's
Give me more bananas.
I love that. All right. Okay. Here's a question from Cosmo. They're asking, I love Kohga so much. OMG, you did an amazing job. As an inspiring voice actor, what are your tips for bringing a character to life and truly giving them a personality just through your voice?
I would say that it's going to be a boring answer, but the truth is being the character. So when I say that, I mean, you have to live like them. So you have to breathe, walk, do anything that they do. And sometimes you're only doing it line by line, obviously, but if I am thinking about something, I'm, yes, right? So you hear the little hums, you hear the things, those kind of things are me being the character in that second, in that moment, right? So that to me is the key to becoming a great voice actor, specifically. Obviously, I think everyone's an actor, and then you're a voice talent as well, but there are things that on-screen actors don't always pick up on, and a lot of that is noises and yeah, well, yes, you know, normally an on-screen camera would go, I have to make sure that you understand what I'm doing through the voice, so I have to go, yes. Yes, you know, so all of those things kind of had noises. And again, it's just being the character. If you come up with a voice, even if you're trying to mimic something else, which by the way, that's been my, you know, when I started, I had everybody I looked up to and everybody I wanted to be like and become a peer to or whatever, or even surpass. Don't know if I want to ever do that, but it, you know, that I wanted to be a peer to. So I wanted to do things like them. And so when I hear characters and things like that they were doing that I loved, I was like, yes, I got to do that. So I would do that. And then I would be them happy, sad, glad, mad, you know, no matter what their attitude was, you have to figure out how that character acts. When he's thinking a lot, or when he's sad, oh no, or you know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. And when he's really happy, woohoo, you know.
I think that's a pretty good answer, honestly. Like just like being the characters, like you have to act. It's like that's pretty much.
Yeah, you know what's funny is my mentor, when I first met him, I took his acting class, and it was because he literally told me, "Well, you want to be a voice actor, huh?" And I said, "Well, yeah." And he goes, "Then you need to learn to act." And I said, "Oh, that's a very good point. It actually it's there in the name. Why didn't I think of it?" And so he said, "Come do my acting class." And I did. I went and did scene study with him for 4 years. I absolutely loved it. I went and did, you know, I even did some stage stuff with him associated to that. And it changed me. It did make me very much, I don't know how loud I'm coming through right now, but it does make me kind of a louder person. So sometimes my auditions, I'm the loud guy that they throw out because they're like, oh, I don't know, he's working to the back of the house here. But, you know, because I'm not always the, hello, how are you? You know, every now and again, you never know.
Sure,
but yeah, it you know, learning how to act, both stage and film, especially, both of them valuable resources. So doing any of those classes, taking, you know, master classes, if you're an aspiring actor and you want to do this, take a couple local classes. There's got to be somebody that's doing voice coaching in your area or the next big city that you're near. And I bet they probably have a pretty reasonable, hey, have you ever wanted to do voiceover class that's roughly, you know, $100 for the day or something. And you go and they give you some copy to read and you give it a shot and they go, hey man, this is great. And, you know, they'll tell you like, I would work on this more. And that's them trying to be nice to say, you know, keep working at it, but you've got something, you know what I mean? And classes are good because you see other actors. When you see, and again, if you guys have never done a paying gig before in your life, and the two of you walk in and you're like, hey, how you doing? Oh, you want to do this too? Yeah, me too. And then you hear their read and maybe you think it's good or it's bad or whatever. You go, oh, so then it gives you ideas. And when you hear somebody do a read that I do it all the time, and I've done classes, you know, with Robin Armstrong and obviously Terry McGovern, my mentor. There's a few classes and things I've done, even like the Skype kind of stuff, you know, like this, you know, or the Zoom call. You hear somebody else deliver a line that you were just delivering, and you're like, ooh, I really like what they did there. And so then that makes you go, well, I'm going to try reading it that way. You know what I mean? So then you try your version of that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the same as the peers. When you look up to people, you know, I wanted to do stuff, you know, like Autobots transform, you know, like I got all, ooh, I can do Optimus. Not really, but I mean, I could do my version of him. Mm-hmm. So that's what led to me building other characters that can sound a little like that, you know? So that kind of thing where you create your imprint, your version of that character. You may call him Optimus when they go, what do you got for me? And you go, my Optimus. Yes, but he doesn't sound exactly like him. It's my version of him. So, and that's what I think, you know, that's young actors. That's what they'll learn when they're hearing other people do stuff. And when they're hearing a pro talk to them and say, hey, you've got something here, kid. You should keep going with it, you know, and that kind of thing. And again, I mean, always you temper things like that with, you know, that they're literally in the business of selling classes. So, I mean, obviously they want you to come to another one, but at the same time, I think you'll get enough feedback from them to know, is it just take another class, or do they really, like, if they explode and exude a lot of excitement around you, that means that they definitely see something in you and they want to help you achieve it. So, like I said, having somebody local like that to say, yep, you should follow this, you should pursue this, keep going. And that really helps, because it helped me when my mentor said, I think you're doing pretty good. I went, okay, then this is it. I'm full bore. I'm diving in.
Let's go. Awesome. All right, cool. Actually, a pretty good segue from that is like a question from Borno Kokiri. They're asking, what are some ways that you relate yourself to Master Kohga personality-wise?
Geez, I mean, I'm pretty silly. I'm a bit chubby, a bit of a beer gut, but yeah, I don't really. The funny thing is if you notice, Kohga doesn't seem like he has like the rule the universe kind of vibe. Mm-hmm. It's more like he just wants to be head of the clan, and he doesn't really care. I don't know how far he goes, because he does have a boss in this one. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He has somebody he's sort of reporting to that he's like, okay, boss. You know, like, so. I think that both of us have that silliness. I think the reason you would call him comic relief, there's probably a bit of that in me. I definitely am a bit silly at times. And yeah, so that's where we definitely connect.
Wonderful.
I'm not really evil in real life.
Oh, okay, good. That's good. All right. Here's a pretty cool one. This is from Frank. They're asking, how do you feel knowing there's a group of people here in love with Master Kohga?
I am absolutely honored and thrilled, and I cannot thank you enough. That is so awesome to hear, and hashtag made my day. Yeah, that is super awesome, man. Thank you to all of you. I really appreciate that. That is super absolutely awesome.
And that said, Ben Likes Cats is asking, from 1 to 10, how much is Master Kohga the top banana, which is his subtitle in the game?
He's got to be a 10, right? I mean, he's the top banana. He's the guy. I have other characters that I feel pretty strongly about, but I will say that Master Kohga has quickly moved right up to the top for me. So that's for sure.
Actually, speaking of that, like, I'm a big fan of his entrance cutscene in the whole game. Just take them all down, but I won't be doing any of the work.
Yeah, except for me, of course. Yeah, I laughed pretty hard when I first, because that was one of the first things we read, you know. Mm-hmm. And I laughed pretty hard, and you know, I said, because they started explaining it, and I said, I think I figured out what's happening here, and then we all laughed about it, and they said, okay, cool, and I was like, yeah, it's amazing. He just literally is like, attack, except for me, of course, and then he's gone. Like I think that's just brilliant. It's really funny. He's a little bit of a wussy down, but then you know, deep down, but then you find out he actually is willing to face off against you later on. So like, he's not totally a wussy. It's just I'm not going to get dirty for this. This is the initial, this is just meeting you, so yeah, I thought it was pretty funny.
It's the pre-battle. I'm important for the final battle.
Yeah. Well, that I'm going to peacock this thing, so he's going to go out there and have his big moment,
Yep. This is from Craig. Craig is asking, how long have you been in the voice acting industry, and what other roles have you played during that time?
Let's see. I think I'm about 13 years in. Okay. I have been doing it for a long time out of San Francisco, and I was doing, I do obviously radio and TV ads because they honestly pay your bills.
They do.
And then video games are probably my favorite, but they don't pay as much, and they're, it just kind of depends. It's also a little less often. But let's see. I think it was early in my career I did Jax, and I didn't know until 4 or 5 years later that League of Legends had become a thing. And so I did Jax, and then after I found out it was a thing, I got Draven, and by then I was so excited I couldn't stand it. I loved Draven. He was so much fun, and still one of my favorite characters of all time. And then let's see, there's been lots of stuff, honestly, but the highlights would include things like the Spirit Tree in Ori and the Blind Forest and Will of the Wisps. They call me narrator, but I'm the Spirit Tree. Ori. Ori, and then there's lots of stuff. I absolutely love the and it's not in video games. I do sleep stories on the Calm app. I don't know if you're aware of this, but it's an app for your phone called Calm, CALM, like calm down, and they do meditation and stuff. And I had a friend who started working there before they were like a thing, before they really launched, and said, "Why don't you try this story?" She said, "You have a great voice, but I want you to try something different. I don't want you to just do an audiobook. I want you to do a sleep story." So I had to learn how to slow down and make everything more sleepy time. So I do stories on the Calm app, and I get a lot of messages about like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I listen to you all the time." So that kind of stuff is really amazing. Geez, I don't know. There's been a lot of stuff that I'm really happy to have done, for sure.
Absolutely, for sure. I have a pretty personal question. Hopefully it's not too personal, but 2 or 3 people were asking this. I'm gonna have them on the video if I don't read through all of them. But the people want to know, how long did it take to grow such a magnificent beard? and someone else also asking, can you ask him what products he uses to make that beard look so majestic?
I think the current iteration, because I had it, I think, down here somewhere, and then I shaved it all off. I did it on video, actually. There's somewhere out there, there's a YouTube video of me shaving the beard. And then after that, I started growing it back. And I think that was about 8 years ago to have what it is now. I think it's kind of slowed down. I don't know if it's really getting any longer. I don't know. It's pretty. And as far as what I use, I have used shampoo and conditioner every day. I get in the shower and I shampoo and condition just like the rest of my hair. Does it get itchy and things? Yeah, every now and again. I guess some people say that it gets, that when they grow their beard, they're like, it's just so itchy, I can't stand it. I get itchy days and I go, yeah, but overall I'm fine. I have used occasionally, a friend would say, you should try this oil or this balm or whatever. And, I'd try it on and I go, that's nice. I don't know. I just shampoo and condition. Hey, here's the secret. Don't shave. I don't know. I'm kidding. I mean, I guess you could shave a lot and then go, okay, now I'm going to do it. And then maybe that'll help that you shaved it first and now you let it grow. I don't know.
Possibly.
Some people are just follically blessed, apparently. I don't know.
I can't grow a beard that long, unfortunately. I don't like having a long beard anyway. It's gross for me. What's funny is before I had a beard, I said I would never have a beard. No, I wanted clean shaven all the time. And then I was acting,
and they were kidding. They said, you know, you got scruff in like a day. Why don't you grow it out for this part that I was doing in my class, actually? And I said, okay. And so I stopped shaving, and it got like pretty bushy, like it got pretty thick pretty fast. And I was like, what just happened? And everybody was like, it looks so great. You should keep going, see what happens. And I go, okay. So I went another month or so, and it got longer, and they were like, wow, it's really growing fast. Keep going. So before you know it, I just quit shaving. I was like, all right. And then it got to a point where I was like, actually, I kind of like it. And, I joke that, hashtag Viking of voice, because that's my family's roots go back to Norway and the Vikings.
Oh.
And so
cool.
I'm literally Viking. So I started saying, all right, fine, I'm the Viking of voice, and that's my thing. So I've turned it into my sort of my calling card in a way. But yeah, I thank you for the beard love. I don't know what to say. I literally stopped shaving and got lucky, I guess.
Yeah. I did forget one comment that said, as a fellow beard person, but I lost it, so I had to go find it and put it in the video somewhere. But yeah, you have fellow beard people who embracing the beard.
What's funny is, I also do streaming. I play D&D on Wednesday nights on Fabled 42, twitch.tv/Fabled42. Yeah, plug. Anyway, I play on there on Wednesday nights, and I've met some of the guys that are part of the network on there, and they would come in and they'd go, hey, Eric, I've been waiting to meet you. I was the beard guy for all my friends, and now I'm meeting you. And I'm like, okay. I mean, you still got a great beard. And he's like, yeah, but I like yours better. And I was like, okay, thank you. So I've gotten a lot of love from, bearded and not bearded alike. So I'm thrilled that people like it. I just like, I don't know, I like the look.
Wonderful. All right, cool. I'm going to ask one last question before I just jump into something completely different. So my question for you is, have you had any prior knowledge of the Zelda franchise before playing Age of Calamity? Or playing Kohga in Age of Calamity?
I can't say that I had. I mean, obviously, I played Zelda games growing up, come on, man. Everybody had to play Zelda at one point because you had Nintendo. That was all you had. You know what I mean? There wasn't even. And then 64 came along, and I played Ocarina, and I really loved that. I was a huge fan of, obviously, GoldenEye and some of the stuff that was on 64.
Nice.
So that was kind of like, that was the testing grounds. That's what, where we really got started. But I've played some Zelda. I will admit, and I know everyone's going to hate me for this, I have not even played Breath of the Wild. I've seen clips, and I've had friends tell me that it is an utterly amazing game, and I'm like, well, it's Zelda. Of course it's amazing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't make too many games for Zelda that are crappy, I mean, I know this one is a little bit of a kind of a different style of game and all that too. So some people may hate on it just because of that, But overall, it's still in the Zelda world, and Nintendo's got to put their stamp on it. And Nintendo doesn't make a lot of bad games. They will put their stamp on a few things here and there that they're probably not thrilled with. But overall, if it's got the Nintendo stamp on it and it's official and part of that lore, then it's usually a pretty good game. So, yeah.
Well said. Well, I had a bunch of responses who wanted to just say a bunch of like wonderful, nice things to you. So I'll just go ahead and read some of them to you.
I'm just going to get blushing here.
Yeah. Well, so just sit, get comfortable. Nick is saying, don't really have a question. Just want to say he did so amazing as Kohga. So much of his delivery made me laugh.
Awesome.
Floofy Jewel is saying, I don't have a question, but I do want to let him know that his voice on the character really fits and makes me smile. I love how goofy Master Kohga is, and it brightens the game up a lot.
That's great.
That's really nice. And then the real Goose Man says, Master Kohga was my favorite character in Age of Calamity. Hard agree. Sola is saying, one of the best voice actors. Haha. Enjoyed his voice in both English and Japanese.
I didn't do Japanese.
Well, yeah.
But yes, whoever, I can't remember what his name is, the guy that did Japanese.
Gladio says, why is Master Kohga the actual best? That could be a question too.
I can't answer that. I mean, he's great. Stop it. I'll just keep raving and saying the same thing over and over.
Sure. I'll just flash all the comments on the video, and you can just read them later.
Okay.
Tweet, comment.
Well,
okay, cool.
Thank you to everyone that said, especially these positive vibes, man. I really appreciate it. I mean, it's COVID, so like, it's really nice to hear good things about your work, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think that pretty much wraps up everything for today, though. So, Erik, where can all of our Zelda fans find you on the internet?
Oh, well, you can go to erikbraa.com. It's a very basic website. It's got my demos and a couple of examples of stuff I do. You can also go check out, which I don't know if anybody's into this. It's all new to me. I had never messed with any of this, but I started working with some friends, and we wrote a sci-fi audio drama. And we put it out there. There's 8 chapters, and the whole thing's available right now at either clariondawn.com, CLARIONDAWN.com, or anywhere you get your podcasts. It's available on Apple and Google and Stitcher and Spotify and everywhere. So Clarion Dawn is definitely something I'm really proud of, and I really want to promote as much as possible. And you'll find me in it. I'm definitely in it. And then Fabled 42 is what I do every Wednesday night. I do D&D live. It's Western, so 6:30 PST. Every Wednesday we do that. But the channel has a good variety of other games and other people that you may enjoy, so go check us out. And
cool.
Yeah,
awesome. And of course, we'll have that stuff on the video and also in the description below. So
yeah, IG is EROCO.
Yeah, so yay, plug in. Cool. All right. Well, again, Erik, thank you again so much for hanging out with us this evening.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we're just glad to have someone officially in the game as a voice actor, part of the Zelda world now.
Oh, come on.
Sure.
I saw your interview with Zelda herself. Awesome.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I just love everybody. Everyone in the voice acting cast did a great job. I'm excited for you guys. And hopefully when cons reopening in the future, we'll be able to meet you in person, all that kind of stuff.
Hey, that would be super fun, man.
Yeah.
I would love that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Cool.
Hey, everybody, I'm Erik Braa, and thanks to Alex and the rest of Zelda Universe, and to all you fans out there, thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. And I'm sure they'll all be back with some great content. Until then, I will kill you all to death.
Oh, no. All right. Bye, guys. Bye.